Hey guys, it's Madison Estes. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Goosebumps unboxing video. It has been a really long time since I've done an unboxing video on this channel. What can I say? I use my library a lot, so I don't usually have books delivered to my house. But I have an awesome friend who lives in North Carolina who works with her local library to do a huge book sale, and she came across a bunch of Goosebumps books, and she was thoughtful enough to remember that I told her that I love Goosebumps and pretty much any 90s horror that has like that real vintage cover. And so, she asked me, which ones do you want? And I was like, all of them. I don't really remember which ones she told me were there, so this is going to be kind of a surprise for me too. The only one I remember is Piano Lessons Can Be Murder, and I was really excited when I saw that one because I remember I really enjoyed that one whenever I was a kid, and I also remember looking for it at my library, and I even went so far as like asking if there was any other libraries outside of mine. They do something called an interlibrary loan where like they'll look for libraries outside of my county to try to find it. And even the libraries that have that program with my library didn't have that book. So it's apparently one that's a little bit tricky to get. I'm keeping the address on this side so that, in case there's anyone that wants to break into my house to steal my Goosebumps, I totally can understand. I'm not going to make that easier for you to track me down and steal my Goosebumps. So I do not have a box cutter. I have like what is one step above child safety scissors here. I'm going to do my best though. I'm going to do my best. My best sucks. Okay. I think it's the pressure of the camera. Oh, and it's like really thick tape too. Okay, I'm going to try to be careful. I don't want to cut my precious Goosebumps books. I'm excited. Wow. Oh wow, there's a lot of them. This is difficult. How fun that I accidentally opened it on this side too. So it shall remain a mystery a little bit longer. Oh my gosh, okay. It's time to use the scissors again. Wow, this is some A+ wrapping. I have to hand it to my friend. Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna remove these one by one so that I am surprised along with you. Okay, oh cool. The first one is The Werewolf of Fever Swamp. I think I read this one when I was a kid. I don't remember it at all. There's something horrible happening in Fever Swamp. It started with a strange howling at night. Everyone thinks Grady's new dog is responsible. Grady knows his dog is just a regular dog, and most dogs don't howl at the moon or disappear at midnight or change into terrifying creatures when the moon is full, or do they? Okay, so that's not like the most exciting premise, but I love this cover, and I think that it's definitely one of the most iconic Goosebumps covers ever. Next up is Stay Out of the Basement. I read this one when I was a kid. I definitely remember reading this one, and it was one of my favorites. And this is another one that's just such an iconic cover. So I think this is, May has an opinion about the book. A very strong opinion, apparently. She does not like it. It's scary, put it back. This is also another really iconic cover. I think this one and Say Cheese and Die were the two covers that really scared me whenever I was a kid. It definitely is fun to get to see it again. And I remember the plot is about their dad starts slowly turning into a plant after doing some experiments in the basement. So yeah, this will be fun. The Horror at Camp Jelly Jam. Oh wow, that's a weird cover. I think I read this one, but I don't remember the details. It's no ordinary sports camp, and Wendy's about to find out why. Everyone's a little too happy, so it kind of sounds like Stepford Wives, Don't Worry Darling, that kind of thing, but like for kids. They're all in pretty good condition too, considering I think these are like the originals. Yeah, you can kind of tell because this one that I got from the library, if you notice the very bottom, this is a reprint, which is why it's like in really good condition, even though it looks like the original. But this one is like original, so this is like almost as old as I am. And next we have My Hairiest Adventure. This one I do remember reading, and it wasn't one of my favorites, but it's still cool. It's in really good condition. It's nice. I think I remember how this one ends. Although I did have the experience, I recently reread The Cuckoo Clock of Doom. No, it was Bad Hair Day, actually. I had reread that one, and I thought I remembered how it ended, but it actually ended very differently. But anyways, I'm pretty sure I remember how this one ends, but we'll see. It's not my favorite cover, but I'm still going to enjoy rereading it. Especially because I remember I read this one as a kid, so it's kind of fun to get to revisit it. Next up is Piano Lessons Can Be Murder. This is the one that I was most excited about, and wow, okay, this one is definitely, of all of them, the best condition. Look at that, that's perfect. Like, the cover isn't torn or anything. No creases. Beautiful. Oh yeah, weird fetish of mine, but for those of you that, like, especially in the 90s, I think that raised covers were really popular. V.C. Andrews did it, Christopher Pike did it. Just feels nice. Anyways, done being weird. Jerry finds a dusty old piano in the attic. Lessons seem like a cool idea, but there's something creepy about his piano teacher, and he starts hearing creepy music at the school and finds out there's students that disappeared. So, really looking forward to this one. I remember there was a twist in this one that surprised me whenever I was in 4th or 5th grade when I read it, so we'll see if I'm surprised again or if I see it coming this time. But either way, super excited to read this one. And I feel really lucky too, because like I said, this one is not anywhere in my library system or even in the adjacent library systems, so this one is a little bit trickier to get your hands on. Next is It Came From Beneath the Sink. Oh my gosh, I have so many memories of reading this one, like on the school bus on my way home. And I remember actually getting goosebumps while I was on the school bus, like in the middle of the day. Not the most conducive environment to getting scared, but this one managed to scare me like in the middle of the day. Well, the concept of what it is kind of silly, but it actually, at least for me, it worked really well. It's, like I said, it's kind of one of the sillier concepts, but I think that, you know, it was scary at the time, and I think it'll be fun to revisit it. Next is Return of the Mummy. Nice. This is really nice. I think I read this one. I remember I definitely read the Choose Your Own Adventure Mummy book whenever I was a kid. I was obsessed with the Choose Your Own Adventures Goosebumps. As much as I loved these, I carried those with me everywhere, and I played every single scenario. I was obsessed with those. But so I don't remember if I actually read this one or if I read the Choose Your Own Adventure, because sometimes that one will reference the book that it's based off of or that it's inspired by. So we'll see. We'll see if I read anything and if it like jogs a memory or something. But this is another one that's in really good condition, so nice. And next up is Monster Blood. I don't know anyone that's a Goosebumps fan that hasn't read at least one of these before. And I remember thinking it was one of the weirder ones, not one of my favorites, but very weird, so it'll be fun to revisit it. It's about a can of goo that seems to be growing and growing and getting bigger. I don't remember if it ever gets sentient or not, but it's kind of like the Blob or something. It's just like this substance that continues to accumulate mass and takes over. I don't remember the ending, so that'll be fun at least. Monster Blood 2. This one I know I did not read. I know I read the first one, I might have read the third one, and then I read the Choose Your Own Adventure that had Monster Blood in it. But this one is going to be a totally new story for me. That's interesting, and the cover is very strange. I definitely would have remembered that cover, so this is going to be a new Goosebumps experience. Next up is Deep Trouble. Now, funny story, I actually, oh, it's got a sticker on the front. I have to take this off because my neurotic personality will not allow me to let this sticker cover this gorgeous cover. I'm gonna have to work it a little bit more so I can take it off without damaging the cover. Anyways, I actually tried to check out Deep Trouble from my local library, but funny story, this is like the second time this has happened to me. I accidentally checked out the DVD instead of the book, and I don't think my library actually has the book, so this is going to be fun because I actually wanted to wait until I reread the books before I rewatched the shows. I've done that already with Bad Hair Day and Cuckoo Clock of Doom, so I just returned the DVD because I was like, I don't want to spoil the story. Even though I know they change the ending sometimes, I still was like, I want to reread the story with a fresh perspective and not the show, which was a little bit cornball. This is another one that I think was pretty popular back in the day. Oh, my back hurt just saying the phrase back in the day. Alright, we're almost through. Next up is Go Eat Worms. I did read this one. I don't remember it though, like at all. He loves torturing his sister. Oh, so something bad's gonna happen to the main character because he loves torturing his sister. Even now, but especially back then when I was a kid, I preferred protagonists that weren't a-holes, so that's probably why I don't remember this one, because it probably wasn't my favorite. Oh, so he tortures his sister by putting worms in down her shirt and things, and then the worms start to attack him, kind of. They start showing up in his food, in his bed. This is definitely one of the few books that I think had the protagonist be a complete douchebag instead of the sibling or, you know, the school bully, so that'll be interesting. And like I said, I do remember reading this one, so it'll be interesting to re-experience it. And last but not least is The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. I think I read it. I vaguely remember it. I mostly remember the cover, which doesn't necessarily mean that I read it, but I'm like 99% sure I read this one. They stay at their grandparents' farm. Okay, that sounds familiar. It's not the most exciting place in the world, but, you know, they have some evil-looking scarecrows, and then they seem to be moving, so I might be confusing this with a Tales from the Crypt episode that also has a scarecrow. In fact, that's what I'm remembering right now, so maybe I didn't read this. I don't know. I'll see when I'm rereading it if it rings any bells. I definitely remember the cover though, so maybe I read it. So that is all of the books, literally a dozen Goosebumps books that my friend sent me. Rudy, if you're watching this, thank you so much. I'm going to tell you in person whenever I see you tomorrow, so by the time I upload this, it'll be old news. But either way, I'm just feeling so appreciative right now and so grateful to have an awesome friend. They say it's the thought that counts, and it absolutely is. It was so thoughtful, but also, like in this case, the gift is really awesome too. So just like over the moon right now, and I cannot wait to plan a night where I can just binge at least a few of these in one night. It's going to be really difficult to decide what to read first because there's just so many awesome options. Let me know in the comment section below which one you would recommend that I read first. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and be sure to subscribe. On this channel, I post reviews, writing advice, horror commentary, and vlogs. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later.